Call the Hammond Redevelopment Commission meeting to order on this Tuesday, August 16, 2022. It is now 4:30. The meeting will begin. Can you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a quick moment of silence after? Commissioner Myers, can you lead us?
Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'm glad you're doing a lot better from last couple weeks ago. All right, can we get a roll call then on tonight's commissioners?
Talmadge?
Yes.
Presley?
Here.
Hooray?
Here.
Myricks?
Here.
Upridge?
Here, for the record, tonight we have all five are present. Number 3 is a declaration of conflict of interest. Okay, number 4, communications. You did bring one out. Can you please read that, Cynthia?
Sure. It says, Dear Hammond Redevelopment Commission, I'm representing Deanna Branch, and her current address is 819 Indiana Street. She has enlisted me to inquire about the property next door to her at 821 Indiana Street. This is a green area that she has been maintaining since she has moved into her home earlier this year. She wants to make an offer to purchase the property for $1,500. Thank you so much for your time and consideration. Sincerely, Rebecca Fines.
Okay, thank you. Then, just for the record, we did receive it, and no actions needed, and this will just be referred to staff. Thank you, Cynthia. Number 5's our minutes. We've got two, one dating June 7, 2022, and the other June 21st, 2022 minutes.
Mr. President, I make a motion to accept the minutes for June 7, 2022 and June 21st, 2022 of the Hammond Redevelopment Commission.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Tolman, seconded by Commissioner Soto Presley. That's for our minutes dating June 7, 2022 and June 21st, 2022. If there's no further questions or discussion or any final corrections on these minutes, then let's have a roll call.
Talmadge?
Yes.
Soto Presley?
Yes.
Hooray?
Yes.
Myricks?
Yes.
Upridge?
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. Number 6 is approval of the sale of real estate and private redevelopment for the property commonly known as 2463 New York Avenue.
Good morning. Good afternoon. We do have Mr. DeAngelis. It's his intent to purchase that property. And just spoke with staff, and they will have some questions for him.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How you doing? Thank you for
Doing good. How can I help you?
So, Commissioners, as you may notice from the paperwork, we put this parcel that Mr. DeAngelis is interested in purchasing, which is adjacent to an apartment building he owns, up for RFP back on July 8th. At that time, we received no submissions for that. So since it's been 30 days, the commission is welcome to open it to the public. Mr. DeAngelis is interested in purchasing it for $2,000. I believe it went up for RFP for $3,350. So at this time, if any of the commissioners has specific questions for the property owner, if not, we will refer it to staff for final determination and more information.
I just thought I was going to say I like the idea for the, for the being a parking for the.
Yes,
cars.
I'd like to offer off-street parking for my tenants and put up a fence for the dogs.
Right.
My wife and I have 2 dogs.
So yeah, I think that'll enhance the property next to your building and a little more secure too. So.
It would be very nice.
How many tenants do you have?
I have 2 tenants.
Okay.
We have another question for you.
I'm sorry, you said you had 2 tenants?
Yes,
And then you said a fence for your dogs. Do you live at,
correct. It's a 3-unit property. I live in 1 unit with my wife, and I rent out the other 2 units.
and is there currently any off-street parking for either you or the 2 tenants?
There's one spot back there on my property, 2459 New York. You can get 1 car back there because there's no garage or shed. So the other property, 2463, is the one I want to purchase. That would give me at least 3 cars wide to park there.
No, I don't have anything. I think it's a pretty fair offer, so whatever the board wants to entertain here.
So we need to make a motion to refer this to staff.
Yeah, I think that's probably advisable. I mean, that's why I wanted to find out. He lives in the place next door, which is helpful. And then I guess I would want either Dean or Brian or both to look at like how he intends to utilize, how that lot could be best be utilized for the off-street parking, right? Because if he's got him and his wife and 2 tenants, that's minimum probably of 3 or 4 cars, right? So,
Correct.
So, and he's got 1 spot now that's behind his current building, so you're gonna want a couple of spots at least. So I think I'd at least want to have staff talk about the best way to have that parking there before we,
I have one other question too. If you're fencing it in for the dogs, how would the tenants get in there to park if if it was fenced off?
I'm not going to put the fence towards the alley. It's going to be about halfway up on the property where the building is.
Okay,
So there would be, that lot is 37 feet wide. So that would be 37 feet by about 25 feet area for the dogs. And it wouldn't impede any traffic.
okay.
Yeah, I don't think we need a motion tonight, so if someone just wants to refer to staff for further review before, they just have to come back on another agenda.
Mr. President, I make a motion to refer to staff.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Myrick, seconded by Commissioner Soto, Presley. We are gonna move this to staff, for a future, meeting. That's for the sale of real estate, privately redevelopment for the property commonly known as 2463. I mean, 2463. She did change the date. So then we'll just, need a roll call for that motion.
Hammond,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Poppers.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes.
So we'll reach out to you for further information. Do we have a phone number or email?
Yes.
Wonderful, thank you.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And while I'm here, I also have Mr. Conkey from the meeting prior that he was not able to come, so he's here.
Yeah, have him come up. What was his name, Ms. Lewis, again?
Mr. Conkey, Matthew Conkey.
How you doing? We usually like to meet everyone, and we appreciate you taking the time to come to this meeting. We already did approve you, so if anybody
I guess we
say
do,
anything, but
we do
congratulations,
outstanding.
welcome to Hammond.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
So I guess we'll just do our little standing couple questions. How did you hear about our program?
Just word of ear, heard some people talking about it in the neighborhood.
And are you a first-time home buyer?
Yes.
I have no other questions. These all been approved, so we just welcome to Hammond.
As I said, congratulations and welcome to Hammond. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Very grateful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck to you. You may be excused if you like. Okay. Moving along then to number 7, approval of 5248 Holman Avenue sign.
Commissioner, this is the property, it's located right next door to Indiana Building. It's just south of there. It was purchased on a tax sale. The city attorney was able to negotiate the donation of the property to the Redevelopment Commission. You can see the deed and sales disclosure have already been signed by the donor, and we just need a motion to approve that donation. Tony will sign it and we'll get it recorded. I think one of the reasons the city attorney was excited about this was obviously with everything going on downtown, it's another property that we would have some ability to say what kind of goes in there.
Right.
Mr. President, if there's no further discussion or any questions, I make a motion for the approval of 5248 Homer Avenue, the signed donation agreement.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Myrick, seconded by Commissioner Tomich. If there's no further questions, let's have a roll call.
Tomich,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Myrick,
Yes.
Hopperidge.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. Okay, number 8's determination of compliance with Turner Park Urban Renewal Area Number 1 plan for a single-family house at 5232 Torrance Avenue. Welcome.
We're here. We're connected via Zoom.
Okay. The Gonzalez's are online, and I think just to help facilitate this is that if can you hear us okay online?
Yeah, we're able to hear you.
Okay, so if you could just for everybody's benefit here, just make a couple of comments about what your plans are for the property.
Well, we purchased the 2 on the lot, and we're ready to start building. The house is going to be for us, for our families. So we're just waiting for the city to okay the permits already.
Okay, yeah, and so for the commission members here, the Gonzalez's wish to construct a house in the Millennium subdivision. And one of the things that I think is interesting about the situation is that the fact that there is an urban renewal area has probably been forgotten by most people.
Not Brian.
Sometimes Brian has forgotten it. Thank you, Dave. The urban renewal area dates back to the 1960s. And if you kind of envision the area here that's Homan Avenue on the west, the Grand Cal on the north, Calumet on the east, and the railroad tracks that are south of Michigan Street on the south, that is the Turner Park Urban Renewal Area. And when you see the Housing Authorities complex, the Renaissance Towers and the townhomes that are there, I think it's a senior facility that is at Seoul in Michigan, that is what that plan envisioned and obviously what was built. The area for the Millennium was a residential neighborhood that was cleared as a part of that project. And over the years, obviously since the 1990s, right before the Millennium, that area was platted for a single-family development, 28 lots. I believe it was 28. And so we know that there has been houses constructed there. We are working with a developer that just completed 3 houses. And now we have these private owners who had purchased this property some time ago and are now ready to construct their single-family home. And so what we're doing right now is technically going through the determination compliance. And sure you can understand that a document that is written 60 years ago is a little challenging to work with as far as how things have changed in 60 years. And the language that I referred to when I went through this document was, in essence, if you distill it down to the core information, it is all about bringing new housing into the area. What the plan really talked about was maybe low, moderate income housing. What the Millennium Development was certainly middle class, higher housing. You know, the ones that were just recently sold were, what was it, $300,000?
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah, so everything has changed in this area from what was contemplated 60 years ago. So in order to get them to go through the permit process, unfortunately, this is something that just popped up. And we would like to get them completed through the permit process as quickly as possible. So with this step, the staff does recommend that the Redevelopment Commission make a determination that the proposed construction of the house at 5232 Torrance is in keeping with the Millennium Edition development and in general with the Turner Park urban renewal area.
Ms. Gonzalez, did you want to add any final remarks? Or?
No, we're just, we've been looking forward to start for some time now. Ever since about 15 years ago when we moved to Chicago, my husband had his eyes on Millennium for a while. And when we had the opportunity to purchase two of the lots, obviously we purchased them during COVID, so it did set us back a little bit. But now, you know, we got the architect with our plans, blueprint, and we're actually looking forward to start building, you know, and having our home ready. But we really appreciate your time, you know, and just grateful that we were able to purchase those lots.
Yeah, this plan, Brian, I've been in there. There was, like you said, it's sat idle for some years. It was some homes done about 20-something years ago, and then, so I'm glad to see this taking off again.
Oh, it definitely is, and I think what's important to note, and I didn't really call it out before, but if you look at the design of this, it is certainly, this new house is in keeping with, you know, the type of architecture that we are expecting out there. So that's kind of what makes this easy in a lot of respects. It is compatible with what we are trying to have happen in that neighborhood.
Yeah, it looks like the same specs and covenants there, kind of the scale of the house. I agree with that.
Mr. President, I had one question for Mr. Boland while he's up here. You noted in the summary that you may encourage us to start the process of dissolving this area. Is that something that we can anticipate?
I would like to complete this, and I was planning on talking about that. So can we just hold that thought for a second?
Mr. President, I guess if there's no further questions or discussion, I'd like to make a motion that we do the staff recommendation that the Redevelopment Commission make a determination that the proposed construction of the house at 5232 Torrance is in keeping with the Millennium Edition development and in general with the Turner Park Urban Renewal Plan area.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Myrick, seconded by Commissioner Heather Garay. Let's have a roll call, please.
Talmadge.
Yes.
Little Presley.
Yes.
Gray.
Yes.
Myrick.
Yes.
Stockbridge.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes.
Yeah. If I may, Ms. Gonzalez, with this completion of the step, you can follow up with Tom Novak of my office tomorrow, or sometime when you get back into town, and we can continue processing the permit to let you go forward, okay?
Thank you. My husband also says thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, congratulations. Hope the billing goes pretty smooth.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so as Ms. Garay asked, the other part of the recommendation here is that, and it's kind of funny, I think, ironic that Ms. Anderson made this comment, that it's quite unusual for me to suggest that we remove a regulation. And I take that with the joke that goes with that, as well as I think it truly is, this is the appropriate thing to do in this case. The usefulness of this document from 60 years ago has run its course. It has really no value at this point in time. I've requested our attorney, your attorney, to prepare a resolution, and we have a draft that he presented to the staff today. And I have also reached out to the chief of staff to make sure there was any current concerns on his part, and then we'll just make sure all our T's are crossed and our I's are dotted, and we'll come back at a later time formally with that resolution to have the district removed. And then ultimately, because what happens with all of our redevelopment districts, urban renewal areas, those get recorded against the properties. So we have this document that's sitting out there on a bunch of properties, and so once we get our resolution to dissolve it, that would be recorded. And I say that because, to be honest, the only reason I know that this document, this district existed, is because I found it on a previous project, and I have the microfilm version of that document. I don't even have an original document. So it is
That's interesting.
a forgotten regulation that just has no reason to continue.
Good. Look forward to seeing it on the agenda.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right, number 9 is approval of proposal for geotechnical engineering and inspection services for proposed Taylor Row residential complex.
Greetings and salutations to the board. I'm here from the engineering department to request the board's consideration of a proposal by Advanced Engineering Services of Hammond, Indiana. We reached out to the company to see if they could help us with meeting our commitment to the development plan that we've agreed to with ATG on the construction of the Taylor Row apartments at Holman Avenue between Sibley and Rimbach, as you're aware. The concern is that there is an existing foundation, walls, and floor slab of the old Goldblatt's department store at this location, and it's going to make that structure below ground is going to make the construction, the foundation of these new apartment buildings very, very complicated. And so we need to do some initial evaluation, some due diligence to see what in fact is underground there. The developer has done some test pits in the area, so we sort of have a general feeling, but in order to do the fairly complicated geotechnical computations, we need to know what the slab and the foundation really look like and what we need to do to make an evaluation to demolish that. And so we're asking for your approval of this agreement for about $20,000. It's an hourly amount not to exceed. We don't expect it to be overrun, to help us through the process of making these determinations. Subsequent, or in connection with that, we will be hiring a contractor to do the actual excavation of this. And so what we're proposing is basically digging an inspection trench along the length of the old department store, so we know where the column lines and the slab and the walls are, and make sure that their footprint and the existing basement footprint, we know where they both are, and that the new building is not adversely affected by the old foundation. And basically, if you can sort of picture in your mind that, you know, if it was just regular ground across the entire site, the development, the load on the ground is going to be uniform. But because there's this concrete slab and walls, it sort of makes it a hard surface, and there are other
Soft spots?
relative soft spots where there is no slab or no foundation. So that loose material could consolidate where this material sort of can't, and it would cause the foundation of the new building to sort of start to tip. So we don't want that to happen on this new development. It is our responsibility to prepare the site so that the developer can move forward on the construction. The administration has agreed to this plan, and part of the plan is to have geotechnical engineering services help us through that. And so I hope I've made my comments clear, and if there's any questions that the board might have, I'll take those at this time.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm understanding, okay, you have to check out the slab and the walls and the foundation to see how they're going to affect the new foundation for the site. But, excuse me, is the current foundation that's already there and walls, are those going to be, are they going to be destroyed, taken away, demolished?
We expect there'll be some demolition, but this effort by AES will make that determination of what material needs to be removed. So on demolitions that have happened in the past in Hammond, they generally cut the foundation about 2 feet below the grade. But now that foundation has to be removed deeper for the new foundation for the new building, and then whatever modifications that need to be made, whether it's removing the walls and breaking up the slab and hauling that material off, or taking the concrete, crushing and grinding, and all the sort of remaining material, the sort of the deleterious material that has been used as backfill, can be sorted out and sent to the landfill. That's what will be happening.
So, okay, so then you're trying to make accommodations for settlement of that foundation?
So that the new foundation settles
Equally
appropriately and not,
the whole.
or so that we don't have to, so that the foundation settles evenly across.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar at all with the golf course at Munster, right? They've had some real problems with settlement at that building, right? It's
Shifted, sinking, that's the worst.
yeah, and we can't have that happen in this development, and we would be at risk if we did not address this.
I understand.
Dean, I want to think, you did answer one question, so thank you, of mine that I had.
And which was?
Going back in the day when Goldblatt's was demoed, obviously they made the specs, they went down so many feet that they had to then, so you did kind of answer my question.
Yeah, nowadays, we're really trying to remove the foundation to the property line, the Enslin building being one case, the building at 5248 Holman is another case, right? The donation of the property of the old Hammond National Insurance building. Similarly, we want the downtown area to be constructed like the downtown is now, and that those foundations can't exist right on the property line.
Sure.
Because you can't build, it's more complicated to build a new structure on an old foundation. I shouldn't say you can't do it, it's just much more costly and more difficult.
No, the soil and ground has to be just right. I don't have anything, but thank you for your.
You're welcome.
With that being said, is there any more questions or discussion? Mr. President, I make a motion for the approval of the proposal for geotechnical engineering and inspection services for proposed Taylor Row residential complex.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Tomich, seconded by Commissioner Myricks. No further questions then? Let's have a roll call, please.
Talmadge.
Yes.
Soto Presley.
Yes.
Gray.
Yes.
Myrick.
Yes.
Poppins.
Yes, motion passes, 5 yes.
Thank you kindly.
Okay, number 10 is our bills, register of claims.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to pay the Register of Claims for July 29th through August 16th, 2022. The Register of Claims R61945 through R62022 inclusive.
Second.
Okay, we have a
think-
motion by Commissioner Soto Presley, second by Commissioner Tomich, that's the
Isn't
register.
that
We got the new one today.
Passed out a new one.
right? So is it?
Those are
Okay,
correct, right?
I got the wrong one. I'm sorry. I have the
Yeah.
wrong one.
She passed out a new one.
Okay.
So that is a motion then by Commissioner Soto Presley, seconded by Commissioner Tomich. That's for register of claims dating July 29, 2022 through August 16th, 2022. That's claims R61945 through claim R62022. Is there any questions on these claims for staff? Okay, then roll call, please.
Talmadge.
Yes.
Soto Presley.
Yes.
Gray.
Yes.
Myrick.
Yes.
Poppins.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Okay, number 11's reports. We have Ms. Ann Anderson tonight. Would you like to
Yes.
share anything?
Thank you, Commissioners. At this point, the only pending report I have is just an update on our annual job fair that we are planning for. It is going to be on Thursday, September 22nd at the Civic Center from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Our office is working right now to secure the companies to set up their booths, and then we'll be targeting the general public to come, and it's always a very good event, connecting people who need jobs with the companies that have positions for hire. Thank you.
It's good to know. Coming at a good time.
I agree.
I know a lot of people looking for work, so I will pass that on.
Thank you.
All right, number 12's new and unfinished business. Guys have any items? Attorney Westland?
I do not.
Thank you. Number 13 is public comment. Public comment is open now. If anybody would like to come forward, may speak now. Yes. Yeah, you have to come forward. You usually try to give you about 3 minutes to speak.
Good afternoon, Hammond Council. My name is Jabari Lopez Sanchez.
Well, we're the Redevelopment Commission. We're not the council, but.
Commission, do apologize. Well, I was just wanted to comment on the redevelopment of the downtown Hammond area. I was just curious if you guys were in the process of developing some kind of parking garage instead of the flat open lots that we see scattered throughout our city, if you would consider maybe a 6-story building going up or going down. Since we do have foundational issues in some parts of the city, not foundation issues, but just old foundation that does pop up later on with issues, if they would consider going down, since this area is going to come with a lot more money, people, businesses, so we're going to need a lot more parking, and the overconsumption of land just for parking cars is, I find it just non-tolerable just because we have 6 used car lots going down in Columbia, another 4 going down Calumet, and with the hospital being torn down or I guess repurposed to an emergency clinic, that's a huge parking lot area that's just kind of not being used or utilized. So I was just curious if you guys had any ideas or if anyone's brought up anything. But other than that, I just had a question for the banks that you guys have for sale, but I guess I can email at a later date for those.
Yeah, I would
That's all my
just refer
comments.
that to our staff, and someone can, you know, add, I don't know if Ann, she doesn't have to really answer, but she can. I haven't heard anything in the works, but it is a good question where parking could be, you know, a concern, so.
No, I definitely appreciate your concern regarding parking. And we are considering options between surface parking and a parking garage. Do know that every residential and upcoming development we have coming to downtown, we are making sure that the parking requirements are being filled. But we are definitely keeping our eyes open in regards to a potential parking structure. So it is being considered.
Okay, no, that's the only question. Other than that, the only question I have is for the banks, but like I said, at a later date or through an email,
I can supply you with an email address
Oh, okay, wonderful.
at the
Thank
end of the
you.
meeting. Thank
That is all from
No, we
me.
appreciate you coming tonight, and any comments that we get from the public, we usually take under advisement or.
Good answer.
Okay.
Sure. I have nothing else to do, David. Thank you.
Good
Thank you.
questions, thank you.
Anybody else? Public comment is still open. Okay, then, public comment is closed. Public comment is closed. Number 14.
Mr. President, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
You have a motion and a second. Can you all signify by aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Meeting is adjourned.